Hello, I'm Rich Aste, the extremely proud director and CEO of the McNay Art Museum. You know, when I'm asked about Tom Frost, it took me about a year to be able to speak about him without choking up. He was that special to me. And when I'm asked how to describe him, which is almost impossible to do, what immediately comes to mind are a few things. One being strategic. When I met him, he was 88 years old, and at that point I still considered him the most strategic, forward-looking person in my life. I would also describe him as caring, incredibly caring, and caring for the community that he loved so much. And lastly, when I think of him as joyous and someone with a really wicked sense of humor. He once called me out of the blue and said, "Your job is to go to work happy. And if you're not happy, you need to call me because my job is to get you to happy." So I, to this day, miss my happy maker. In my opinion, what drove Tom Frost was a sense of purpose and a sense of mission. He profoundly believed in the mission here at the McNay, the museum that he served as a trustee since 1971 until his passing. And when I first met him, we talked about mission and we talked about purpose. It was my first day on the job, September 12th, 2016. I visited with him at his office at Frost Bank. And I walked in, and it was my first time really connecting with him. He asked me immediately, "What's your elevator pitch?" I said, "Well, I represent an incredible institution that encourages, in a very safe way, people to question the world around them and be inspired to dream and to grow, all by engaging with the very best of modern and contemporary art." And he said, "That's very nice, but have you read the McNay's mission statement?" I said, "Absolutely, I interview well, I did my homework. The mission is actually why I'm here. I believe in those words as much as you do." And he said, "Well, let's read them together." And what he did is take out a piece of paper that he had handwritten onto that paper, the McNay's mission statement, which he helped create in 2014. We stood side by side, read that mission statement together, and at the end I realized what he was doing. He was seeing if we shared core values and if we shared brand and brand conviction. And I realized that I was at the right place working for a very special person, and we had a beautiful relationship from that day on. Tom Frost was very proud of his service as a trustee for 47 years, and when he became a McNay trustee, he was at that time the third member of the Frost family to bring their leadership and their vision to the museum. He followed in the mighty footsteps of his own father, Thomas, and his uncle, Joseph, and today that legacy continues with Tom Frost's son, Don Frost, as our current president of the board. And what he was so passionate about when he was here was believing in this place as a resource for everyone. He referred to the McNay as a tranquil oasis that included great masterpieces. And he was proud of the fact that those masterpieces were located in a premier art institution, one of the most prestigious in the country, and that institution was here in the community that he loved so much. What he was very proud of was bringing that mission of engaging everyone with the best of modern and contemporary art to life. And that's what he did in 47 years of service to the museum. He not only brought our mission to life, but he ignited that mission and took us to where we are today. The McNay would not be what it is today without Tom Frost. In 2017, I received a call out of the blue in my office. I picked up the phone. "Hi, this is Rich. Tom Frost here." "Mr. Frost, thank you for calling. How can I help you?" And he had just shared that he had visited the Whitty Museum here in town and the Children's Museum, the Museum, and he brought his grandchildren, and there he was encouraged with them to touch, to physically connect with the works and the exhibits in those institutions. And he said, "When I bring my grandchildren to the McNay, we're told, step back, please don't touch." And that's a challenge, he said, and that's not where the world is going. And I thought about what he said, and I thought about the shift in museum experiences and how people really want to be a part of those experiences, that they're no longer passive experiences, but really active ones. And so after that conversation, I met with the team at the McNay, and we envisioned an exhibition for the summer of 2018 titled Immersed, Local to Global Art Sensations, that took every one of his words to heart. And the last time I actually saw Tom Frost in person was at a preview for that exhibition following a board meeting. It was May of 2018. And I took him through that exhibition and said, "This is what your words ignited in all of us. And this exhibition is entirely thanks to you." He saw where the future was going, and he not only embraced it, but he couldn't wait to realize it. He was fearless in his vision of where the McNay, San Antonio, and our entire community could and should go. I wish Tom were here to answer questions about his legacy, but what I think of and what I take with me in my time with him, and it was 2 brief but incredibly impactful years, was how profoundly he cared for San Antonio and how he invested in the future of San Antonio. When we had the honor of holding the reception here at the McNay following his memorial service in August of 2018, we were welcoming visitors, hundreds of visitors paying tribute to a true San Antonio icon. They were greeted with a mariachi group outside, Campañas de América. And I asked the leader of that group, of that mariachi group, why they accepted this invitation to perform at this reception. And the leader said at the time, that was the easiest request we ever had to meet because Tom Frost funded every one of our members' education. He personally took an interest in the future of our team and believed that education was the road to their brilliant next chapter. And he did that very quietly. He led from behind, and I am incredibly grateful that I was in his presence for 2 years. I listened to every word. I almost didn't want to speak when I was with him because I knew that everything that he uttered came from a place of brilliance, but also compassion, kindness, and ultimately integrity. And it's a privilege to keep his legacy alive here at the museum, working very closely with his son, Don Frost, as our current president. The Frost family is such a vital part, and I would argue the heart of this museum.